Howdy kids, Quanian81 yet again with another book review. Now, this book review has been a long time coming. It literally took like 3 or 4 trips to the library to really sit and read this book. It's very dense, it's very difficult to read, it's very thought-provoking. It's Richard Dawkins' The God Delusion. It took me a really long time to get through this book. I found myself having to reread parts of it to make sure I had an understanding of it. Dawkins' writing style, he spends at least a third of the overall book giving his ego a blowjob, but, you know, he makes some pretty devastating arguments against the existence of God and why he feels that organized religion is a threat to the growing moral zeitgeist, as he puts it, the overall well-being of humanity as a whole. Richard Dawkins is a professor from England. He is a... oh goodness, I'm trying to remember what exactly it is that his profession is as far as being a professor. ADD strikes again. Anyway, so it took me a good long time to get through this book from cover to cover. And give yourself some time to absorb the information. Like the first 3 or 4 chapters he devotes almost exclusively to destroying intelligent design and tearing apart traditional arguments for the existence of the Abrahamic God, Yahweh, Allah, Jesus, whatever. He also makes a pretty compelling argument that the Bible is actually not a good moral basis and that you don't need religion to have a moral basis at all. In fact, there may be very well evolutionary and biological undertones as to why human beings have a sense of morality, why we feel bad for an animal that's whimpering in pain, why we reach out to people when they're not having a good time. Here, let me flip to one of my favorite ones. Let's see. An amusing, if rather pathetic, a case study in miracles is the great prayer experiment. Does praying for patients help them recover? Prayers are commonly offered for sick people, both privately and in formal places of worship. Darwin's cousin Francis Galton was the first to analyze scientifically whether praying for people is efficacious. I'm sorry. Yeah. You can see why it took me so long to read and reread this book. He noted that every Sunday in churches throughout Britain, entire congregations prayed publicly for the health of the royal family. Shouldn't they, therefore, be unusually fit compared to the rest of us, who are prayed for only by our nearest and dearest? Galton looked into it and found no statistical difference. His intention may, in any case, have been satirical, as also when he prayed over randomized plots of land to see if the plants would grow any faster. In parentheses, they didn't. There's a lot more to this book. As I said, this book was very difficult for me to read. I mean, you can't be the same person after reading this book that you were before. You just can't think the same way, and if you do, I really think there is something wrong with you. Let's see. He goes on in a very step-by-step way to argue against the existence of God, and this absolutely blew my mind. Let me see if I can find it. Religious experiences. Basically, in 7 quick steps, he destroys a common argument for the existence of God, and if I can find it, I will gladly share it with you. Unfortunately, it seems I may have lost my place in the book. As you can see, this is a library copy, and I have to bring it back tomorrow. I'm going to be sitting here for a while. He focuses the majority of this book, arguing against religion. He focuses most of it on the Abrahamic traditions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, but he focuses pretty exclusively on Christianity, Catholicism, Mormonism, evangelical Christianity, even the Methodists aren't spared, which I've never heard of Methodists giving anybody a hard time. But, oh yeah, and he shits on Scientology too. Yay! So, okay, I can't find it for the life of me, but when I do, I'll post it as an annotation as to 7 steps to disprove the existence of the Judeo-Christian God. The God Delusion, Richard Dawkins. 2 thumbs up. He's an egotistical prick who pretty much believes anyone who believes in anything is an absolute moron. But if you can get past his very dense writing and egotistic writing style, it really is worth checking out. I would recommend this book to just about everyone. It is definitely not easy to read, and it will change the way you think. And that's what made it hard for me to read the book at some points. I mean, I found myself asking myself some pretty uncomfortable questions, but overall, I'm very glad I read this book. Mr. Dawkins, keep up the good work. All right, kids, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.